Hey, what's up guys? Ken here from the Retro Toy Escapades channel here in Malaysia. I hope that everyone's doing good out there. So, like I announced earlier today, Wave 6 of MOTU Origins has now hit Malaysia. I just got the carton box in today, and the first figure that I want to check out is the one that I'm really most excited for from this line, and it's none other than Webstor. Webstor, evil master of escape. Make him climb up his line. That's right, folks. You are Webstor's master, and don't you forget it. Back of the package, and it's another visually stunning masterpiece. Okay, once again, they've delivered on the card back artwork here, and we get this fantastic shot of Webstor in what appears to be, I suppose it's Buzzov's home. I don't know, it looks like Beehive Central here. Okay, but the two of them are just squaring off here, and it says here, with sinister stealth and a threat-making mind, Webstor poses a threat to the bravest and the brightest. I gotta say that honestly, I've never really considered Buzzov to be an interesting character. I hated the 80s action figure version of him, but you know what, seeing him here in this action shot with Webstor kind of elevates the character a bit, I suppose. You know, I'm interested to see what Origins is going to make of the character when they eventually get around to him. Over the side here, you get the all-new CrossSell featuring the new figures in glorious Photoshop detail, and also instructions on how you can operate the Webstor figure. It says here that it comes with a hook that you attach together with the line, and then you pull down the line gently to make the figure climb. You know, the interesting thing about this particular photo here is that, well, I mean, okay, the illustration here with the human hands. Now, the sight of the human hands kind of threw me off, okay? It's like, how should I put this? The action figure is a physical representation of a work of fantasy. So everything about that figure, including the packaging, should be grounded in that world of fantasy. You know, it's like watching a movie and seeing the reflection in the mirror of the camera crew making the movie. You know, or reading a comic book and there's a panel where the hands of the artist can be seen drawing the characters that you're reading about. I don't know, man. You know, does that make sense? Now, inside the package, we get the instructional guide for Webstor that shows you how everything can be separated. Yeah, and also, on top of that, we do get an all-new mini comic. And finally, we found out that the title is Between a Rock and a Hard Place. Yeah. But check this, I felt that the title sounded kind of familiar, and I found a vintage MOTU mini comic from the 80s called A Rock and a Hard Place. Yeah. But scope it, you know, this one was printed all the way back then in good old Malaysia. That's right. Anyway, is this new book supposed to be a homage, a sequel? Are they running out of dramatic titles for the comic books? You know, we'll find out, you know, okay, when we review this in an upcoming video. Okay, guys, let's not waste any more time getting this guy out there. Here he is, the bad boy himself, Webstor. Now, first impressions on this guy is that the blue paint that they used on him is really dark and striking. In fact, it's a far darker blue tone than I remember the original being. But all the classic design elements are there, from the head sculpt to the pattern and symbol on his chest armor. And you know what, speaking of the head sculpt, this has got to be one of the best face jobs in the Origins line. And actually, you know what? Is he smiling here? It kind of looks like he's smiling. Okay, I mean, I know that's not where the mouth begins and ends, but it kind of does look like he's smiling. Okay, the rest of the figure's main body is the basic generic Masters of the Universe action figure body. I mean, he doesn't really have like 6 spider arms or anything like that. But he does get the webbed creature feet at the bottom here, yeah. And, you know, the front half of his armor is made of like this soft, rubbery, flexible material, while the backpack that he comes with is actually made out of something like hard plastic. Now, the backpack contains the entire rolled up string section that enables the action feature of rappelling him up and down. And, you know, we're going to get into that in a bit, actually. Okay, guys, you know what? I really don't know where to begin. But something horrifying did happen just minutes after I got the Webstor figure out of the package. I actually tested out the action feature immediately once I opened him up, and you know, because I was so excited. And maybe for the first time ever, something in an Origins figure just broke. Okay, the string that was connected to the grappling hook snapped off and went right back inside the backpack. Yeah, you know what? And the backpack actually can't really be opened up. Okay, I mean, I tried. Okay, but this thing is like sealed up. So tight. It's like it's like it's guarding the secrets of Castle Grayskull. So yeah, maybe I might be able to crack it open eventually, like cracking open a nut or something. But yeah, the other end of the string is somehow trapped inside. Now, why is this thing so fragile? I've got no freaking idea. All right. I really wasn't expecting this. The good thing is that I managed to get the damn thing on video, right before it snapped off. So I do have a scene of that, which I'm going to show you. And you'll see that the first few attempts of working the action gimmick, came off successfully. And on one of the last attempts, the string actually snaps. Okay, so let's check out the videos. Okay, so checking out the action feature, you get one end of the grappling hook attached to a nail or a hook or something else that you could just dangle the figure off from. And then you pull on the other end of the line or just tug at the string here to cause the figure to move up. It kind of looks like he's climbing up. It is a very interesting feature. The figure moves up, it moves down, it goes up, it rappels down. It's not the most original action feature in a toy, but it's interesting to see it being executed successfully. Okay, so I did this for a couple of times, okay, and you can see here that basically I think it's on the third attempt here where I just applied a little bit more pressure and the freaking string just pops off, okay, and that's it, everything just fades to black. Just bullshit. Webstor's got this large orange laser rifle thing that looks great once you put him together with the figure, because Webstor already looks like a bug alien-like creature from outer space, and then you got this huge sci-fi gun in his hands. He's just blasting away. Die, human germs! Die! Die! I remember a couple of years ago being so excited when I finally managed to get a complete vintage Webstor figure, because he was honestly one of the most unique MOTU figures that I've ever owned. And here's a side-by-side comparison between the two of them. As you can see, the vintage figure has a slightly more lighter bluish tone to the body. Other than that, the other major difference is the armor. Okay, this guy's armor is made of hard plastic. Okay, one of the things here is just that there is a tendency that these things can snap and break, during play. So I was always really careful about that part of the figure. But it has a really glossy sheen to it, and it looks great in its own right. When you compare the head sculpts together, they have more or less the same expression, but you can see that the new Origins facial sculpt, the head is actually bigger, okay, much bigger than the vintage one. Other than that, they still have the same expression. They both look actually like they're smiling and grinning away. On the back, the vintage Webstor figure has a very glossy backpack made out of hard plastic as well, but it is noticeably smaller than the Origins one. The Origins one is much bigger, but as it turns out, I don't know what this thing is supposed to be doing, because it can't even keep its string nice and sturdy. The string just freaking snapped off. By comparison, the string on the vintage Webstor figure that I've had here, and I've played with this a couple of times, this damn thing never snapped off. Okay guys, so that's my look at the MOTU Origins Wave 6 Webstor figure. As I mentioned, I was really excited about this figure. Excitement turned a little bit to horror when the incident with the string happened and it just popped off the grappling hook, and the string sort of just went all the way back into the backpack, and it's kind of like stuck in there. And I do think that this is a quality control issue with the figure that Mattel probably needs to address, because in the first place, the string should be strong enough to support the movement of the action figure all the way across the line. Okay, if you're moving it up and down, you don't want to have to worry about just tugging it a little bit extra harder and the whole thing just snaps off like what you saw in the video. But that actually happened. So I do hope that, and I hope that somebody from Mattel is watching this video and maybe offers a solution, or at least addresses the issue and gives them some insight to this whole thing, because I do think that there's a problem here. And if you do end up with the Webstor action figure, I hope that all of you manage to get your hands on one pretty soon. I do hope that you guys, if you're opening up the figures, do tend to be a little bit more careful with them. I'm not saying that the same thing is going to happen, but it looks like it probably could, right? Anyway, that's my look at the MOTU Webstor figure for Wave 6 Origins. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Do leave your comments and thoughts in the section below, and I'll catch you guys again real soon. Thank you.